What's up, dogs, and welcome back to the channel. Today I feel gay.
Today I feel gay.
Nah, just kidding. Today we are going to take a look at Vivi and the OP16 meta. Why? Because this leader, and I don't want to exaggerate it, but this leader is pretty underrated in this meta. I don't want to make a big fuzz about it. We could just take a look at the leader ability first, so that you maybe understand why it is that this leader is strong. So she basically has two effects. The first is a once per turn. If your character with 4 costs would be KO'd, you may trash 1 card from your hand instead. So yes, this protects from effect KO as well as power, or rather battle KO too. So it's kind of similar to the Rosie leader, because this leader is so good in the point that it can protect its laws with the same way, because the wording is the same. Would be KO'd. If a law would be KO'd, you may add the top card of your life cards from your hand to your hand instead. Sorry, but this is actually better than that, because trashing a card is always better than taking a life. Sure, Rosie is a yellow deck, and sometimes it's good to prevent starving, but we won't have there won't be a situation where we have a problem with being starved in this meta. Believe me, this whole deck plan is resolving around playing all of this to survive up until the point where we can drop our new gates and Shankses. And this is our top end, and it depends on the situation what we play, but we'll get to that also in a second. Let's just first read the second effect. Activate main, you may rest this leader, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k, and then up to one of your characters when attacking, gains rush during this turn. This is also a pretty good leader. Imagine, we have a 12k here with Shanks that can KO a 10k. There are quite many cards that are right off the bat KOable with this card without activating your leader ability. And then you can also grant it a rush, so a 12k rusher. So as you can see, I can show you an example. The Teach, for example, is a 10k that is being played in every yellow deck right now. So with this, all the Warlord cards that also are high cost, sorry, typo, they also all have a 10k power stat line. You can KO all of these, the Mihawk, the Hancock, the Croc, the Moria. The Croc comes back because of its own KO, sure, but this is a pretty good effect, and combining it with the leader ability, sure, you would rest it, and then it doesn't have any rush anymore, but combining it with the leader ability, you suddenly can KO anything that is in the game, except of the Pirate King himself maybe. But let's just take a look at this Teach, which is also pretty prevalent in the meta. It's a 12k stat line. Your opponent does nothing but drop this on his 10 on turn, maybe with the Zihaha event, this one. So he would rip alive. So right off the bat, I can tell you in this matchup against black yellow Teach, you have to be a bit more defensive. But this is all KOable, even the 10 cost. He drops it, you rest your leader, drop a Shanks, KO it. This is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, this matchup is still tough, and it depends on who goes second. But we have so many tools to make this and other matchups pretty good, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the deck list. Let's start from the top. This is our top end. We are playing Newgate because this Newgate is just a bonkers card. It's a 6/12 blocker that draws a card, filters a card. Pretty obvious why we play this, and in conjunction with that, we also play the Das Bones. Das Bones, pretty great card to drop early on. Maybe just leave it standing, maybe rest it by attacking into Goofy's board. But this later on, if it stays, or maybe you can establish in your 9 or 8 on turn one of these, and there are quite many instances where this happens. With the Newgate ability, this becomes a 7k attack out of nothing. Out of nowhere, sorry. Yeah, this is our top end, pretty good. And then I'm thinking we are getting ahead of ourselves. As I mentioned, Shanks can KO anything. Newgate is our defensive, or sort of our defensive way or offensive way. But let's start with the one costs. Or let's continue with the one cost. Sabo Luffy, pretty great card. It's a 2k. Every red deck runs this right now. Also, the same goes for the Uta, because pretty versatile cards, 2Ks, nothing to complain there. Minus 3King something comes up more than not that much, rather, because We already have pretty great KO outlets, but sometimes dropping this one a turn early and then playing this on curve or this can be pretty substantial. And then the Otama, best blue 2k arguably in the game. It draws 2, trashes 1. Since we are a 4-life leader, we get to 3 pretty quickly, and we have to mind it because we also play the Yamato. But pretty good card, nice to cycle out. Also, we have the option to go first and second with this deck consistently, because we have these 1-drops that we can squeeze into our curve. And if we do not see what we want to play on that turn, we also always can squeeze this 1 cost or this 1 cost. And with that, we continue with Ivankov. Ivankov is an overlooked card in my opinion. Really good tech for this deck. I wish I could squeeze in more 6Ks, because what this does, you may reveal 2 character cards with 6k power from your hand, draw 3 and trash 2. Draw 3, trash 2 is insane card cycle, and you are seeing a pattern here. I've included cards that draw borderline from this Otama to up until this Yamato. Every card here draws a card in some way or form. And why is that? In the section where we go over cards that we are not including, we include the ace, just a slight error here. But there you can see there's a, and then I have to admit, the way Vivi was played up until now, or still, is pretty set in stone. You are playing this Searcher Vivi because you want to find your Namis and your, where's the Vivi that plays out? There's a Vivi that can play out a 5-cost or less Straw Hat, and that is this one, a Straw Hat crew type card and Alabaster card, but there are no good Alabaster targets. There are also no good Straw Hat targets besides this Nami. And don't get me wrong, the Nami is great. She is, and if you can include it, but not necessarily with this combo line. I think this eats up too many spots. You need to find it. It's inconsistent. And then this is a non-counter too. In the late game, this is clunky. At best, you can sometimes only play a Nami, or even worse, just a Chopper. The Chopper is a 2k counter, which is a blocker too, which is great, but it's a 2k you lose out of your hand. And then you need to play Vivi to make all of this work. And what's the problem here, you think? The problem is, if I play Vivi, I'm whiffing in all of these mid to top end cards, and that is just bonkers. It's ridiculous. I hate playing this engine with the Vivi, because everything else that I can't search is be gone for the game for good. There is a card in Straw Hat and one in Alabaster. It's the Zorro here for the Straw Hat crew type, and then there's the Chaka Impel, which are both good includes. It is worth doing this. If you include this, and this, you need to include this and perhaps this Zorro too. So then you can search your top end. It's so frustrating to bottom deck all of your top end with this Vivi. And in this meta, you need to play out weenies. You need to play out, even if it's an Otama, even if it's an Ivankov or this Bones, you need to play these cards out, because there is a menace in the meta, and that is this new Luffy Leader. Let me pull him up real quick. It's from the newest set from OP16 as well, and it is the deck to beat. And if you want to beat it, I'm having problems here, so there it is. If you're having problem beating this card, you have no minding business in the meta right now. So it's good to have these low drop characters, and that continues with this Sanji too. The Sanji even goes up to a 6k stat line, which is great against another deck that is pretty prevalent in the meta right now, and that is this Luffy and Ace leader, because all of his characters are 6k base powers, and it is a 6k base power leader too. His characters go up to 9 in your turn, so this is arguably the hardest matchup for this deck, don't get me wrong. But for that, we are running attack as well, and that is Jozu. Jozu bounces a 6 cost. What's the problem here? The main goal of this deck is, up until 5 Dawn, play out the weenies that you can. These 4 cards here, if you can, maybe establish a Luffy if you play against an opponent who can't deal with board, to have it on board early on, but take it with a grain of salt, of course. And then from your 4 to 5 Dawn turn, you are playing the Yamato, the Marco, or the Gildino. These 3 cards. Preferably one of these 2, because the thing with this deck is, if you have a blocker, because your leader ability prevents on KO effects, And if you have a blocker, such as this Marco, you can always block any hit. Your opponent can perhaps swing 20 into life, let's say with this Newgate and Tendon attached. He swings 20 in your life. Normally you would block this and you lose your blocker because you cannot counter out of those swings. But with this leader ability, you can counter out, throw out any brick with that, and this blocker stays on board, ready to use again. So this is an extra life every turn for a trash 1. This is great. You want to establish your Marco. Your Marco is so important in this deck, and if we somehow whiff or miss our Marco in any way, we also can play Uta. Uta is a great card for this deck, because if you have established one of these, this becomes a 2-cost character in your hand. And oftentimes, let's say you play a 10 Shanks on your Tendon turn, and your Marco already is gone, or you missed the Marco, you now have the problem that you are open like a barn door because you have no blocker on board. Then you could go, and you want to also, it is this deck's game plan to play these 2 characters out to KO anything that goes your way. So this would be done earlier, and then this, and then you want to play maybe a Rayleigh afterwards instead of a Newgate on your second Tendon turn. Then you can squeeze in the Rayleigh with this card. And also, if you have a Rayleigh on board, you can attach 2 Dawn to play this out for 2 Dawn. So, as you see, there's a bit of a toolbox structure in this deck. The most cards here draw. That is the most important thing, because you are getting rid of so many cards in your hand during the game. And your key pieces, really, Ben Beckman and Rayleigh. Rayleigh is so good in this matchup for this ridiculous deck. This deck is just ridiculous, man. Because it swings 6-5, 6-5 every turn, multiples also. But this card, pretty great, because it can, if he plays out a Buggy into a Prisoner, let me pull that out up real quick. Buggy into Prisoner is pretty good, because it's 2 6k body characters, and one of them becomes a blocker. Pretty good board tempo swing or tempo play for Green Blue Luffy players, sorry. And he has also many weenies on board. You play out this, KO immediately the blocker, -2 the other Buggy. Now this becomes a Dawn attachment to swing. Beckman, so good into so many decks in the meta. Let's say Robin, a card everyone hates. You can minus with your leader 2k to this Robin, and then you can just trash it without taking a life. And then you can take a look at the Admirals. The Admirals all have an 8k stat line. This is so good with the leader ability we have, because the -2 just shaves off that power that they have to be able to be KO'd with Beckman. And if you do not have Beckman, you can also play Rayleigh just to KO them, and then minus another one of those for the following turn, just so that it's easier to counter. The Sengok matchup also pretty great. And then there's another deck that is a bit rougher, to be honest, and that is Yamato, because she plays out these 8k Yamatos. It is a manageable matchup, but you need to establish a blocker early on, because the blocker is so important. This leader is aggressive as fuck, but also 8k characters. Shaving off with our leader ability, bringing them back down to 6, able to be KO'd by Rayleigh, able to be KO'd by Beckman. And the nicest thing about this is an on-KO. We all hate this card because we cannot trade into it, because if we do on-KO, play up to 1 Yamato with cost of 6 or less from your trash, and that would be this Yamato. But we circumvent that with Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman is such a ridiculous card. Getting rid of any on-KO, it is such a great card. And there's also a menace in the meta that we haven't addressed yet, and that is Enel. This maybe is the toughest matchup out of all of them. Maybe on par with the structure deck Luffy, but starter deck, I don't know. But this is hard. We need to defend early and defend aggressively as hell. And then he is going to swing with his vessels. There are so many 6k swings. The 7-1s we sometimes need to counter out also, but we need it. We need to counter out, because eventually this Enel comes down. And if we can leave our Marco standing, then we can block an Enel swing every turn, definitely. The most aggressive thing about this is every deck needs to take that 10 hit that comes the following turn after this is dropped. But we maybe do not. And also, because of Galdino. Galdino is such an good extender. On your 8-10-10, maybe you can play this and this. And the thing is, once the NL gets rested, once it is tapped sideways, it becomes so easy for us to remove this motherfucker. Why? Because an NL rarely comes alone. If an NL gets dropped, you probably are always going to see a Frankie. If you do not see a Frankie, you will see a, let me pull her up, Reiju. Why is NL so strong? This is the reason. You cannot trade into the NL, but we can, because what we can do, we can use the Luffy, we can use the leader ability, we can play out a Rayleigh, a Ben Beckman, give that NL a further -2 by playing out a Beckman, and also in the same vein KO a Reiju. So I could play out a Rayleigh, give this -3 or -2 rather, use my leader ability first, KO it, and then give the NL also -2. If you can follow me, it's hard to explain because it requires some setup. You need to pilot this matchup potentially good, but the thing is, if the NL is tapped sideways, and we can achieve that pretty easily by blocking a hit or taking a life, because he will swing the next turn after he's dropped, there is ways to reduce the power, and if not, we can stun him with the Galdino, which is obviously the best way to go about it. And for that, we have so many draw cards to see it eventually, and once the 10 costs come down, it's easily manageable. Let's not hype it too much. It is easier and manageable, but hopefully we will see some games to prove that to you. I'd say let's dive into that, but before we do that, let's look at some other options we didn't talk about. This is not good, this is not good, this is not good. No. This is maybe good into goofy matchup. I really want to include this, to be honest. But the thing is, I do not want to increase my non-counter count from 14. This is mandatory. This is, in my opinion, mandatory. 2, I would even want to play rather 4 of this, but I cannot for the life of me allow myself to use more than 14 non-counter cards, because if you play this deck, you will find out sooner than later that non-counter cards kill your games. But if you can squeeze it in, great card. -3 for 1 Don is insane. So, as I promised in my last video, we are opting to play some ranked games, and the good thing about ranked games is you can see the statistics here. We have a 25% matchup globally into this deck, but I think we can tank through that. We are going first. There's nothing to play on 1, but there is an Ivankov and a Marco, but that is a gamble to see, so I'm going to mulligan it because there are too many non-counter cards in this deck, in this hand, sorry. And this hand is a bit better. If we now see an Ivankov next turn, maybe, okay, we do not see anything to play out this turn, but that is okay. I'm opting not to starve because I happen to find out that this deck is unstarvable, this one. Yeah. So I'm swinging 8 here. And this 5, I want to counter this one out, to be honest, so that Yamato is live next turn. But I can also play the Marco, and I want to stay healthy, so I'm countering this one out. I imagine he's playing a Galdino, that is okay. Restanding 2, playing the Darksbones, pretty good turn. So, good choice from me, but I can circumvent this card anyway. Seems he was a bit unlucky on 2, because he had nothing to play there. But not that we care, we can attach a Don here, swing 6, pressure him further, and then we can play out this one and then pass. So Marco, good to have. This is what I mean. We have a free block, rather half free block every turn. Pretty important card if you ask me. And then he's opting to swing 5. I'm thinking that I want to block this. Yes, because it is a free block, and he only could potentially have 2 swings left here. And if he decides to pressure the Marco with everything, which is not happening because he's playing the buggy into the impel down, we still can save it with the leader ability. So he's swinging 6 here, and then we can expect a 7 maybe. The thing is, we need to take 1 life to play out the Otama and the Jozu to bounce back maybe the buggy or the impel down prisoner. But the thing is, I don't want to risk taking a 7. So I am going to counter out this one with a 2k. And I'm hoping he is doing exactly that. But he could also use these 2 Don just to play out another one of these, or the other 2 cost. Let's see what he decides to do. Okay, there it is. So we take that live, and this is pretty good. The thing is, we could play the Ivankov, because right now we can do that. We can also forgo not doing that. It is a hard choice. We definitely want to pressure the Galdino, because if we get rid of this, he does not generate any value for this leader anymore. He felt safe swinging with this because he has an impel down prisoner, but this cannot become a blocker if we remove it beforehand. So what I'm going to do is I think I want the card draw over the... I don't want to trash 2 cards, so I'm playing the Otama, drawing 2 cards. I want to get rid of this Dasbones, just so that this is still live with the Yamatos. And then we can do Jozu in bounce this and this, so this cannot become a blocker anymore. I didn't want to give him a 2k counter into his hand. The statistics of this dropping again next turn are high, but we have the Ben Beckman right now. So now I'm going to minus this one, boost this one, or rather give him rush, and then say just swing 7 into 3. Hard to counter out. It would take 2 cards out of hand, and then if we swing 6, it would take 3 cards. Sorry. 7 into 3. Yeah. I am thinking about swinging into this Dasbones just because I want to get rid of it. And if I leave the Marco standing, I would block it anyway. So getting rid of it is better than having a blocker standing, because he would swing with it either way. So I hope you get what I'm saying here. I have a bit of a problem with our hand size. It is lower than I would want to at this point, to be honest. Because we had no innate +1s we played, but we can let go of the Marco at any point and gain 2 cards. We can play the Yamato next turn, which I'm opting not to do. We could do this maybe later on, double Yamatos, if we... okay, a 6 swing. I'm going to counter out the 6 swing, just because this could be a 7 swing next turn. Yeah, what I wanted to say is we can play out 2 Yamatos in later turns after we established a maybe new gate. So yeah, we are in a good spot, and we see the Rayleigh. This is anti-buggy into impel down character. Yeah, there's the Galdino and no low drops. He hasn't seen that many low drops. It's unfortunate for him. It would be better for him if he had seen some. But what I'm thinking about this turn is, yeah, let's just play out the Rayleigh, give the buggy can still turn other buggies into blockers. I would say we KO the buggy, minus this one. So now none of these can become a blocker, and then we give this a further -2, boost this. Now this is a 2k, and 8 into 2 is pretty devastating. And right now we can play this. Show him the 2 Yamatos. Let's see what he does. Okay, this is card draw, my guy. I think I want to get rid of 1 non-counter, the new gate, and we can afford to lose one of the Yamatos, to be honest. Yeah, let's just do this and then pass our turn, because the Jozu cannot swing right now. But pretty good spot for us. We are controlling the board pretty well. Sure, he's still at 3 life, but no need to rush. One thing we have to be mindful of is the boa. Once the boa is being dropped on the board, our blockers become irrelevant, because she has an unblocker trait, the new one that was introduced with this set. Yeah, pretty annoying trait if you ask me. But that's the game. It's developing further and further. Now, what do we do here? I'm thinking I want to be greedy and block this because it's no card in hand, but then we have 2Ks. We can afford this. Yeah, let's see what he does furthermore. A 6 swing from the prisoner. I want to counter this one out too, to be honest. There's nothing I have to fear with the... Yeah, let's just use the Otama. Let's be safe. Because I only have 2 of these, I didn't want to counter out with it. But yeah, I think the Otama is fine. Okay, he's playing Croc into Mr. 2. That's fortunate for us. And then buggy into another prisoner. Wow. This is now a bit problematic. Oh, sorry. I took a sip of water and bumped into my mic. Yeah, we are on 10 Dawn. You know what this means. I'm harder. I'm thinking about playing the Shanks because it's so overkill if you ask me. But we need to, right? We can also play the new gate, but I really want to get rid of his board. Yeah, we still have the blockers, so we could be good. Nah, I want to go defensive, man. Some swings into life. Nah, let's just play the Shanks. I mean, fuck it, man. Let's KO the buggy. Give this one -2, boost this, and then swing. What do we swing? 7 into... Nah, let's just do it. Maybe he blocks, and then we can focus on the croc too. So it's harder for him to protect it. So he should just let this go, to be honest. But he could counter block with the croc and then counter a 2k. But then I can do this, Rayleigh into the croc, and then or rather Shanks into croc, and then Rayleigh into prisoner, so he would lose both. I think he needs to let this go and then take a life. I think that's the best thing he can do. Oh, and guys, also shout out to Kadi Kaizoku, because as you know, I used his deck builder. Let me just pull it up. Deck builder here. Shout outs, my guy. And there's some other stuff I wanted to show, maybe. Maybe I just wanted to do some research. Yeah, let's continue. He took that one, and then a 12 swing is taken as well. Yes, let's pass. And now he's at 1 life. We are sitting pretty comfortable with a blocker and 2 life. And also, if it gets a bit more, let's say, heated for us, we still can just drop the new gate. We can drop the Yamato to find another Marco. If we see another 2k, or we didn't see any one of that, if we see a 2k Uta, we can play out that one too. But right now, I think he has so many rest cards and stun cards that it would perhaps be good to just block this, to be honest. And I think that is what I'm going to do here. I'm really afraid of something that could come our way. Nah, I'm not protecting it. I just want the counter, I want the filter. I can just play this one again and again if I find it. So I'm really scared of his rest cards. If you don't know, he's playing obviously the Galdino, this one, but he's also playing some other stuff. And this I'm going to happily counter out. There's no problem in that. This is 2 swings accorded. He only has 2 swings left, possibly, so it's impossible for us to die. And next turn, I think we pretty comfortably are going for game. So our leader ability is still live and active too. This one we could take. He could play out the Brook and then swing again, but we have 6k counter in hand. I think we take this to force him to swing with the broccoli dial. He's opting to play 2 blockers, which is also okay for him. I know it maybe seems a bit unoptimal what I did here, but you'll get it if you play against this deck a few times. He has so many stun and rest effects. It's really frightening, man. Okay, Rayleigh is pretty good if you ask me. I think this is the best thing to do in this turn, actually, because we can do this, KO, and then grant this, what can we do? We can minus this one, huh? Yeah, and then grant this a rush, and then just swing flat lines, 7, 9, 9, 12. Let's do that. I don't think that he can get out of these, to be honest. Maybe he can, the block is still there. Maybe it was a bit hasty to play this, to be honest. But if he blocks, we just still can redirect into this one, and he will be left with 3 swingers still. Let's swing 9. He countered that out for a 2 and a 1. Yeah, that's the swing that you need to counter out of also. So, and 9, 12 will be tough, to be honest. I think that we can redirect if he does not take this life. If he counters, there's an argument to swing the Rayleigh into the prisoner. Because if the Rayleigh swing gets taken and then he counters this one out, it will be a bit rougher for us because you would have 2 standing characters. This one is at 4 right now. We do not need to attach Don. I think we can cycle with the Ivankov. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's swing 8 into 4. He either dumps his entire hand or he lets this go. Since this crocodile is a 4k2, there's no merit in blocking. I think this was an okay turn. It's a bit risky, to be honest, but it's an okay turn. It could have been worse, to be honest. We could have also minus 2Ks to the prisoner to swing with Ivankov into it, but yeah, fuck it, man. Let's show him this, and then we can cycle, hopefully finding more 2Ks, unfortunately. But we have more than enough counter in hand so that we can pass this turn, make him believe he has game. He needs to attach so many Don to have it, and we are actually low on 2Ks, to be honest. We could lose here, but this would need 3 Don, this would need 2 Don and 2, so that is already 7 Don accounted for, so that is an 8 swing here. Now, I don't think that he can have it. A 7 swing, this is the easiest swing to counter out of. Let's just do it, a 2 and a 1, giving him the 2K we showed him. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a 7, and an 8. That's all that he can do. Since we have no blocker, there's no use in playing his events and stuff. But that's the thing with this deck. This deck has so many resting stuff that it's so hard. And I think I mentioned this 3 times up until now. I'm repeating myself here. Yeah. Tough matchup, man. What can I say? This is maybe the best deck on the format. You can argue with that, but it's an 8 swing right here. Let's focus on that. 8 swing, pretty rough. We would need to give him 3 cards. What else can he do? He can 2. This can be a 7. And this can be an 8. No, not 7. This is a 7, and this would be 7. 2 7s. We can get out of 2 7s if we get a 1k out of life. So let's do it. And we get 1k out of life. Okay. That's pretty lucky. Yeah, gimme. 9. He's swinging 9, okay. Makes no difference, I think, because this will be a 5k swing then. Let's give him the 1k. And then the 2Ks, we do not have 2 2Ks, sorry. 2 1Ks, 3 1Ks, sorry, that we have. And then, yeah, that 1K. Perfectly shaved that. GG's, my guy. Yeah, let's just type him a message. Let's be friendly. Oh, he connected, disconnect. Okay, bye, next match. So let's dive into our second ranked gameplay, and as you can see, I've changed the background. But I have to do a bit of testing against it as well. We are going first, so I'm going to throw this hand. This looks much better. Yeah, I'm not sure about the backgrounds. It bugs me that I have to change them for every update this simulator gets, and as you perhaps know, this simulator gets regularly updated. If you ever ask yourself why that is, there is no server this is run on. That's my assumption. So they have to, if a new card is being revealed, they always have to put it in freshly, so that is it. But we are swinging 5 and I'm playing out the Sanji. Right, the exact thing why we run this thing, so that we have something to play out on 3. And the thing is, this is a pretty great card. It has a counter, it is a 6k on attack, your opponent has to deal with it, it's a 3k stat line, so if he swings back into it, it is never free, and he is swinging 5. The thing is, we need to take this live to make our YAMATO live, the effect, so I have to take this. If I were to have a Marco instead, I think I would have countered that live, maybe not, but yeah, that is it. So we are swinging, okay, we are swinging 6 here first, or we could swing 7. No, we cannot swing 7, but let's swing 6 first. Get a 2k out of hand, hopefully. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you like this background. I think I'm going to test out another one for the next video. The first game I didn't have any background, but yeah, I thought for the OGs of my channel, the 3 OGs I have, the first few videos I produced, there was a background. I don't think in all of them, but in most of them. And the thing is, the background, the default background of the sim is so awful, man. Yeah, and he takes the 6, which is interesting. Let's play out the Yamato. Tough. I have many non-counters in hand, but all of them as a one-off, so I need all of them. I think this won't be live as well. Oh, sorry. That's the thing. Yeah, let's just swing 6. I thought I had to trash a card. I have so many draw and trash effects in this deck, so this becomes a default. What do I trash now? But the beautiful thing about this card is it shows you the power creep of the game, man. You can have a card that draws you 2 cards on curve. Is crazy, man. So many draw effects, and I think that's the way you need to go. This is the thing why the what's her name, Vivi and Toonami engine is not that good in comparison, if you ask me. Sure, the thing is you need to get a blocker on board, and as you can see, when I'm doing this line of plays and then follow it up with a Ben Beckman I hopefully get in the next turn, because he's probably bringing out a Yamato. He has more than enough in trash. Sorry. Then I'm blockerless. But this Yamato also has an unblocker trait, so these are swings we definitely will take. So it's just so uncomfortable to have unblockable in the game, to be honest. Yeah, unblockable was a thing that was exclusive to Red for a while. Now you can see we played against Goofy before. Fucking Boa Hancock has unblock, and okay, he swings 7. Given that there is going to be a combo on its way, we need to counter this, unfortunately. I don't want to give him the Uta though. I'm giving him the Ace Sabo and Luffy, and then the Ivankov. Because the Ivankov is not guaranteed, I only have a 1/6k body on hand. So if I had another, I probably would opt to trash the Daz Bones, but the worst thing that we can do on 7 is play this into this, so that would be fine too. And yeah, his what was his name? I forgot, man. Wait, Kinemon. His Kinemon is able to be reduced now, but in this we won't protect. If it was a Don put onto the Nami, and then if he swings, we can protect, but he does not have a Yamato. Okay, you had one to search. Why didn't you do it? This is the biggest mistake, perhaps, from I need this Ben Beckman, so I don't want to, but I have to trash the Daz Bones for this. Yeah, let's see what we get with the draw. Maybe we can establish something, but this into the Marco would have been great for the next turn. So yeah, this is the problem of Yamato players. You have 2 searches with including the Kinemon. You have 3 searches for when you hit your first 5 or 6 on turn, or before you hit your first 6 on, to be more precise, because Kinemon you can only play if you go second on 4. On 3 you cannot, obviously, duh. But the thing is, Yamato players always opt to search incorrectly, and searching is a great skill to master in this game. Pretty important skill as well too. And yeah, we are going to, I think the first thing we can do is we could pressure live, to be honest. Yeah, I would want to play the Ben Beckman either way. The Marco would be great to just have a blocker on board, but as I mentioned, the unblocker trait is right here. So we could do the Ben Beckman, KO the Ushimaru, give this one -2, give the Ben Beckman rush, and then 6 into 4, swinging optimal numbers. And if he lets this go, hopefully, we can swing 7 into live. But if he counters this, which would be the correct thing to do, we can just swing the Ben Beckman into it. But we can catch him off guard too, to be honest. We can go ahead and swing the Beckman into live too. He counters with 3 1Ks. Okay, that's enough for me. I'm gonna swing into the backman. 3 1Ks is more than good enough for me not to swing into live. Okay, he counters 2 2Ks. That's the reason why he counted 3 1Ks. Okay, that was 7 cards, I think. No, 1, 2. Wait. Wait. I want to count, man. Don't be so hasty. Where was it? I can't. The trash is all mixed up. It wasn't 7. It was 5 cards. My mistake. But now the YAMATO comes down. Pretty great for them. Although it didn't came out with the event, or did it? I've cut the Commodore. No, he used the event. So this is a free swing. And we have no 1K counter in hand. In hindsight, playing the Ben Beckman maybe was wrong, but let's see what we get. A 1K at least. That's the thing. I'm playing only 14 non-counter cards. And here I have 5 out of 7 cards in my hand that are non-counter. I think next turn we need to go for game, to be honest. Yeah, because this Kinemon is hopefully only swinging 6. If he swings 7 with this Kinemon, I think we are fucked, to be honest. Okay, he doesn't, fortunately, so we can do this. And I think he might opt to swing into board with this. There's a possibility, but he doesn't, which is the right play. And next turn, I definitely need to remove this YAMATO, for sure, because it has unblockable. Nonetheless, he will still have unblockable swings, so yeah. I need to reduce it with the Rayleigh, I think. Yeah, let's play out the Rayleigh. I really like to give this minus... Yeah, nah, I can't do that. I'm giving this -3, this -2, and then KOing this. And then I'm going to... I think this is more than enough, right? But let's just do this. Give it a further -2, and then this is a guaranteed KO. Yeah, it's not looking good for us, to be honest. We only have a 2K counter. He's swinging live. There's nothing I can do about it. I think we lose this game, to be honest. Yeah, let's swing 7 live. Let's just fake with the 1 done here. This will stay at 5. That is the only upside about this, but maybe he's opting to not go for game because this YAMATO is reduced. And if so, the Rayleigh would be the only reason we went through with this. Yeah, we could have played 2 Marcos too, but then there's a risk of another 8 cost YAMATO coming down. So yeah, this matchup is a bit rough, to be honest. Fortunately, he's swinging 5 first, so we trash a 2K for this. And there's no triggers in this deck, so it's mathematically done this game. So man, what could I have done differently? I'm still going to include these games, don't worry. But yeah, unfortunate. If we were to go second, it would have been different for us, to be honest. But he also didn't see his YAMATO on 5, so yeah, unfortunate. Maybe we could have pressured that. Yeah, GG's, my guy. Against Red Green Luffy, and as you can see, this matchup is a 35% win rate for us. Against Red Green Luffy, and as you can see, this matchup is a 35% win rate for us. But we are going second. Since he has not that much to deal with our board, we could play... I'm going to keep this hand just because of the Marco. I'm just debating right now to play out the Ace and Sabo and Luffy card. Or not. Sorry, I wanted to remove this OP bounty thing. Yeah, let's just pass. There's nothing we can play on this turn. If we would have had the Ivankov, that would be a nice play to filter out this kind of 2K heavy hand. And that's the thing, you cannot control your hands other than by drawing cards. I am thinking about countering this, to be honest. It's an easy 2K, but yeah, let's just do it. Let's counter it, stay healthy, have options to take live, because we have the Marco. We really don't need the swing here because he has done open, but let's just see what he does. We could have had played the Sanji, but he had 2 Don open. What we could have done is playing the Sanji, which is a 6k attacker on our turn, and then we would have a Don still standing to swing 7 there. But this hit I'm going to take, and it's a Galdino. Interesting. Yeah, we have nothing to play on 6. We could establish the Galdino, or we could establish the Sanji. He has 2 Don open, so let's just swing 7 first. Let's do that. A 7/7 from Leader and Sanji, so that way he needs to burn cards or use his Leader ability for Marco. Sorry. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, he takes 2 7s, 1 take. That is good, because this deck has pretty good defensive power, to be honest. But the thing is, he still only is a 4-life leader, so he needs ways to leave the Dons open. And this Luffy is nice. The thing is, this matchup is quite manageable if we find our removal. But if he has a Laboon, that gets more and more frustrating. Thankfully, he does not have a Laboon up until now. And this hit, I think I need to take because I need to see options. And there's yet another 2k counter. Oh gosh, at least we see the Yamato. But it's an argument to make for this Galdino, to play out, because we cannot deal with his Luffy and its double attack. So it's hard to decide here. I think, man, I need to see options. I really need to see options, but then I can play 2 cards this turn and fill up my hand. Let's just do that. Let's just give him this. This cannot attack now, and then we still can play out the Daz Bones. That is okay. We could actually do 7 swings across the board. Let's just swing the Sanji first. If we play this out, would we still have... No, we wouldn't have any Don left. So let's just swing 7s. I'm swinging the marker because the Luffy is already, how you say it, stunned. And that way, he needs to give us a card here, which is pretty valuable for us. It's a grind game, man. It's a grind game in this matchup against this deck. And there comes down a Zoro. Okay, an 8 hit is hard for us, but we need to counter out of this just to stay a bit more healthy. And then we need to get rid of the Zoro and the Luffy at the same time. This is hard, man. We could play out the Shanks, I'm being honest to you. Or we could play out... Nah, we play out the Shanks. I don't mind it. Yeah, let's just play out the Shanks. Give this -2, it doesn't matter. And then swing 12 into life. That's all we can do for this turn. But the Shanks is putting mileage in. From the very first second he hits the board up until the end, he will always hit mileage, and he uses a Charleston. That's 2 cards out of his hand just to stay at 3. Respectable, man. I'm thinking you have a game plan here. If not, I just would have, if I was in his boots, I would have taken that hit. Yeah. What else can I tell you interesting? I watched the Argentine-Egypt match just a few seconds ago. Man, that was gut-wrenching, man. Okay. This is a nightmare card against us. That's also the reason why green decks tend to be better into this leader. Yeah, this is hard for us. He cannot restand Don, so without, at least only with the Usopp. So I'm thinking this will stay a 7. I cannot allow myself to go down to... I need to counter this, sorry. I at least have 2 2Ks still. So I could potentially get out of a Luffy swing, and that is the important thing here. I'm giving him a Daz Bones and a Jozu. Oh, and this card is only a 6k 2k, Okay, this one I'm going to counter out too, I think. Because the new gate will draw me a card, I get one out of my draw for turn. Yeah, that is okay. Maybe he swings those up. No, he doesn't. We could also play the Shanks. That way, I think we can get rid of all of his board, to be honest. Yeah, that is good. Uh-huh. Let's just test the waters. 6 into a 6. Now it's getting interesting. Now it's getting more and more interesting. He can counter out 6k by this. I think we are safe if we do this. I think this Luffy goes. And if it doesn't, it is a mistake from him. Because he goes so low in hand size. Let's see, man. I need to reduce this Luffy, so he does it. He uses Charleston. Okay. Pretty interesting if you ask me. But okay. So that means we need to get rid of the Luffy instead of the 4-cost Luffy instead of the 6-cost one. Because this, when attacking, rest the blocker of your opponent is so annoying. And he trashes a Shanks for the Charleston. Bro, you are going so criminally low in hand size. And this is a tell for me. It's not a tell, it's a fact. He could defend this, don't get me wrong. But let's just do this first. KO the standing Luffy. And then we can give one thing -2. Interesting thing here. A 6 gets out of a 12. So I think, yeah, our leader ability does not do much for us here. Let's just minus this, give this a rush, and then swing into it. Yeah, just to guarantee that it is going through. Although, don't get me wrong, but the leader ability is relevant right now here. It's just for the rush ability. But he has no cards in hand left, so getting rid of both of the Luffys is pretty huge for us. So the only thing that he can do here is find something that rests. And he doesn't, luckily. If this card he drew, if it was a top deck that rests, it would have been a pretty rough spot for us. And yeah, let's see what he does. This hit I'm going to take no matter what. And this one I need to block because it's not a double attack, but okay. I think, to be honest, I think I'm giving him it to 1k here. Yeah, sure thing. Why not? I can afford myself that. And here we can give him another 1k. And he's going all in. He's being serious here right now. And this one we can just block. Yes, we block this. No. Do I? It's game either way, right? I don't mind it. I'm just giving him this one. So he should have game, nonetheless. We have 5 attackers, he has 3 life. Even if he gets 3 2Ks, then it's a 10k, so our last swing needs to be a 15k. So that will be 15k from lead, or not from lead, because this is an easy 5 swing. If he has a trigger to rest, even better. So I should have swung 7 here. I just miscounted for his leader ability. Oh, I'm doing a huge blunder here, to be honest. Okay. I miscalculated, to be honest. What do? Do I focus on board? Try to find something? Because I'm a bit scared, to be honest. He can get out of a 7 still. He maybe can get out of 2 12s too. I don't think that I want to go for game here, man. I'm too frightened. Let's see what we get. We can get rid of this. We can play this to get more cards. Yeah, this doesn't matter that much. And then we can focus into board, I think. Let's just... This will counter for 6 plus 7. 6, 7. It's a 12, so I think we can swing... Am I being stupid here right now? 2. No, it gets out of that. I'm attaching a Don here. 13. Sorry. 6, 4, 3. No, I'm stupid. Man. I think I'm getting a bit, what's the word? Nervous here. It's an easy thing. I just needed to swing properly, but the 5 leader swing was just bullshit. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's swing this into this. This cannot be protected. This is not a Straw Hat Crew type character. And this definitely goes through. So, yeah, I think with the blocker, and I think we are golden still. Man, I started to sweat here, man. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry, it's late. It was a long day. It could be good to have Rush too. But he's already putting Dawn everywhere, so this is an 8 swing. This is just getting blocked. I don't mind keeping it. So that way we still have 3k counter if anything happens. And in these scenarios, I really like to have a counter event. So if you want to have a great deck, you want to have a counter event that is doing substantial things as well too, but I hate having non-counter cards in this deck, to be honest. I don't know, I've played so many decks that go away with having up to 20 non-counter cards, and it was never a problem. But with this deck, it's a bit different. I'm going to let this go, because we already have so much control over everything here. And I think he does not have any rush in his deck, so we would be pretty comfortable. It's also okay to play with the new gate, I think. Yeah, but let's just get rid of... Do we get rid of anything? I don't know. I don't need to, right? Yeah, let's just do this. Trash the Rayleigh. Put down here and here. And then I just should have put down onto the Shanks. But let's see. If he does not counter this out, he... yeah, okay. He loses the game. That's what I wanted to say. It's time to get rid of this Luffy, because he does not have anything to protect it. Yeah. I'm stupid. The turn prior where I attached a Dawn onto Shanks, that was right. I just got a bit hasty there, because 3 cards or 3 Dawn upstanding means he gets to 13k, so it was right either way. So this is crazy, resting my blocker, but I think I can counter out of both hits, can't I? I can. 2 and 2 and then 3 1ks. Let's do it. We could have taken that hit just to force him to counter attack with his Luffy, so that way we could have guaranteed that he had no Dawn. And yeah, he concedes. I was dragging this because I was not paying attention. This is a tough deck to play against as well, so don't judge me, man. For this deck breakdown video, I hope you liked the profile for Vivi. What do I rank this deck? I think in terms of aggression, it is a 8 out of 10 if you include cards that have double attack, like this Chaka Impel and the New Gate, which can swing 10 immediately. I think, and also the Nami, because on curve you can rest your leader. 7 swing into 5 leader of your opponent is pretty strong if you ask me. But overall, this deck has an 8 into aggression. Defense, although we have so many defensive options, speaking of Galdino, the Marco blocker, and Newgate, this deck is a bit, and I admit it, glass cannony, because if you do not see your counters, hence us running 1-2k more than usual, you can easily lose the game, to be honest. In terms of fun, I think this deck is pretty fun to play if you see what you need. And in the meta rankings, I would rank this. Maybe I'm going to do an updated tier list in the future for this OP16 format, because my last one was trash, to be honest. But what would I rank this deck? I think this is a pretty sleeper pick. You need to have luck, but in that terms, fun-wise, I think this is an 8 also, maybe a 9. And in ranking of the tier lists, I think this is an A to B tier deck, to be honest. But you can catch people off guard, because most people don't know that this protects on attacking KOs too. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. That's it for this video also. Leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and write me some just write me some positive and nice things in the comments. Thank you. Bye bye. Just write me some positive and nice things in the comments. Thank you. Bye bye.